In today's video, I am going to show you how I use Notion to organize certain aspects of my travel planning. Hi everyone, my name is Darwa and thank you for stopping by my YouTube channel. I have been location independent since 2019, and in 2020 I started my online business just like many people did during the first part of the pandemic. So on this channel I document certain aspects of my online business journey, financial independence, as well as slow travel. So if this is your jam, this is something that you want to learn about or even just follow along my journey, feel free to subscribe to this channel. If you want to be notified when I release new content, turn on the notification bell. In today's video, I am going to be focusing on a tool that I use to organize certain aspects of my travel, and it is called Notion. So if you've never heard of Notion before, Notion is an all-in-one workspace that can be used to organize your life or your business. It gives you the flexibility of creating very simple places to organize things such as to-do lists or a place to take notes for meetings, for example. It can be more complicated though, because you can create databases that connect and link with each other that can allow you to manage more robust things like projects. Certain companies have an onboarding process built into Notion. So it gives you so much flexibility to create what you want, specific to how you think, how your brain works, and how your life runs and how your business runs, things like that. It is available for free. They have a free plan, but they have pro plans as well. But there's so much that you can do to get started with the free plan. I have used the free plan for over 2 years and it has been pretty wonderful. If you want to see how I use Notion to plan and organize my slow travel, keep watching. So I'm going to go over to my computer and share my Notion dashboard with you. So I have my travel dashboard here. Moving on to the main area, I have an area for quick links. So we have links to get to my packing list, which I would go over in more detail because that is a core part of this planning page for my travel. I have a link to Airbnb and Google Flights because I use them quite frequently when I am planning my travel. I have a to-do list here. Now this is not my to-do list that I use on a daily basis to track the things I have to do. This is specific for traveling, so big picture things. In this example, I need to remember to book my train ticket from Madrid to Seville. So very big to-do list items here. And then important documents. This section can be used to link to or embed PDFs. All right, so the other side of the travel dashboard, these are the trips. And I have them in 3 different tabs or 4 tabs here. I'm currently in Houston, so it counts as a trip even though technically I am home with my family, but this is my current trip. And the second tab opens up my past trips. So I was in Mexico, prior to that I was in Spain, and prior to that I was again home here in Houston. And then I have future trips as another tab. So coming in a few months I will be returning back to Spain. I have that showing up here as a future trip. And finally, the last tab is all the trips, and this is more in a table format. So if I wanted to see all of the trips that I had planned in an overview setting, I can see that here. Other things that I haven't included here that you might want to if you already are working with Notion or you want to get started with working with Notion is that you can include things such as a budget for your trips, an itinerary, a more detailed itinerary that can all work together when it comes to organizing your trip. All right, so let's go over my packing list first. To access that, all I have to do is click on the link packing list. Now, this is not my actual packing list. I created one for the purposes of this video. You can see that in this first tab for the packing list, you have all of the different items organized by category. So accessories, clothes, documents, electronics, miscellaneous, toiletries, etc. And then if you wanted to view them individually without being overwhelmed by a very long list, you can look through the tabs. When you click on each tab, it only shows that category. So you have here only clothes showing up. So it's a much shorter list, more manageable. so you don't get overwhelmed. And you can do this with Notion by creating one master database and in creating subsequent views that you can filter and sort and create it to be something more simple. If you were creating this from scratch yourself, you would create a table and add the columns that you need. One, of course, to check off the items that you have packed and the name of the item, and one column for the category so you can organize them into different sections. I will share a copy of this template in the description box area, so if you want to grab a copy of this, go ahead and grab it. All you need to do is click on the link, make a copy, and it copies it into your Notion dashboard. If you were using my template, for example, and you wanted to add more items, all you need to do is to click on new and then add your item, for example, and you can change the category. If it's in the wrong category, it automatically chose accessories because, of course, I was in that section on the table. So if you were adding it from a different section and you wanted to change the category, you go ahead and change it. So if you wanted it to go more with clothes, you can do that, and it goes to that section or that category right here. If you wanted to delete, it would be as easy as clicking on the 6 dots on the left hand side and you can delete it. If you wanted to edit the category, so let's say you copied this template and you wanted to add more categories or edit, there are many ways you can do it, but an easy way is to just click on an item in the table. So in this case, belts, and you have the different categories here. You can click on the category to add a new one, just type it in. So if you want to add maybe like camera gear, for example, once you type it in and it doesn't exist, it gives you the option to create a new one. So just click on create. And if you, let's say, wanted to edit a category, all you need to do is hover around it, click on the 3 dots at the right hand section, and you can edit it and call it whatever you want. And hit enter. You can also delete the categories from here. You can change the colors, things like that. So we're back on my travel dashboard, and the next database that I use is this one on the right hand side. This is where I organize my trips, like at the beginning of the year, where am I going to be January, February, March, things like that. So at the beginning of the year, what I did was I sat down and said, okay, I want to be in Spain for this few months, I want to be in Mexico for this month, and then where do I want to be in the months in between those times? And I plugged in the other places that I wanted to go. So in order to access this, now I can access it from here, but for this demo, I think it's easier to show you what the actual full table looks like. This planning table has several columns. Again, I have a column for the country, the date, start to finish, the duration, which changes based on the date. So for example, I came back earlier from Mexico. I was supposed to come back on July 4th, but I ended up coming back June 30th. So if I change the end dates to June 30th, you can see that it automatically adjusts the duration of time that I spent in Mexico. I have a column for cities because you can be in multiple cities in one country, like I did in January when I was back in the United States. I have a column for accommodation, just an overview. This is not the details of exactly where I'm going to be staying and where I have booked. This is just general overview planning. Again, this gives me like a quick reference point if I have to see what my year looks like. All right, and I have a projected cost, and this doesn't represent what I spent. This is just an overview, just to give you an idea of how my money is going to go for the entire year. Let's open one of them. For example, if I open up Spain, you can see that again, I was in Seville, Spain, so the city is right here. If I was going to be in another city in Spain, I could easily add it here. So let's say I was going to spend some time in Madrid, for example. Madrid doesn't already exist as an option, so I have to just type it. And again, it recognizes it as a new entry, so I can select it. But I was only in Seville. That's just to show you how it works. To select the dates is quite easy. It's a calendar. You select the start and the end dates. If the end date doesn't show up, you just have to activate it by toggling on this button right here for the end dates to show up. And this is a formula that I use. So if you want to copy this table. The formula already copies for you. If you want to know how to create this formula, just copy this table and copy the formula and adjust it in your own database. For accommodation, I just put Airbnb because that's what I actually end up doing. I stayed in Airbnb in Spain for 3 months. I put an image here because it helps me create that gallery view I had before, so I can see each country by their flag. You can certainly use whatever you want. If you wanted to use another image that represents that country or the city that you're going to be in, you can use that. I just use the flag so I like how it looks. Then you have the projected cost, which again is just a rough estimate. Now here is where you can add more detail. Here is where I add my flight information and transportation. I have my accommodation, the Airbnb, and any visa and vaccination information, any special preparations. I didn't have anything to add, so I kept it simple. Now, you do have the option of creating even more tables to put in your visa information or your accommodation information. You can be as comprehensive or as simple as you want. For me, I kept it simple, knowing that I have an overview of everything that I have planned for the year. And if I want to add more information, all I need to do is to add it within each destination, within each country. So coming back to this dashboard, I have that same table that I imported over here. So it's more like you're creating a different view of the same database in a different area, because it's much easier to interact with. So if I just want to focus on my current trip here in Houston, I can click on that and add more information right here. If I wanted to look over my past trips, I can just click here and I have quick access to it. I like the visual aspect of this view. That's the one thing that I like about Notion, is that it really gives you a lot of flexibility with creating one thing and then being able to view it in a different area in your dashboard. All right, so that's all I have for you in today's video. If you have any questions about this particular video or Notion in general or some other dashboards that I have and you want me to share, let me know in the comment section below. As a reminder, this template will be available for free if you want to check it out and use it for your own personal planning. I will leave it in the description box, so go ahead and grab one, make a copy, and change it however way you want to suit your specific needs. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for stopping by, and I will see you in the next video. Take care.